عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يؤتي الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين. أما بعد, all the praises and thanks be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sustainer of the universe, and blessing and salutation to be the most distinguished of the messengers and foremost among the prophets of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has peace and blessing on him, on his wife, children, companions, and all the righteous people who passed away, who were among us or who are going to come, inshallah. Ameen. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul uqdat min lisani wa yafqahu qawli. So today, inshallah, the topic is the legacy of Islam and code of conduct in Islam. This is a very critical topic. Sometimes we take it for granted. We think like, okay, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us and we are in the fold of Islam and we know everything. And we're doing it according to the teaching of Islam. Sometimes unintentionally or intentionally, we do something and we attribute this is what Islam says. This is our probably personal desire. If it aligns with the Islamic teaching, then it's alhamdulillah, small alhamdulillah, we are doing right, we are doing all right. But if this is not according to the teaching of Islam, this is not as the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us, or we heard from the righteous people, then it may not be the right one. And there Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a gauge, beautiful gauge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a beautiful gauge right here. This is your heart. And that tells you if you're doing right or wrong. We follow or not, that's a different thing. As saying goes on, whenever we do something, we do according to our aql, according to our wisdom. And we say, okay, alhamdulillah, we are doing this, is my wisdom says to do this way or that way. This is more appropriate. But your heart does not align to that probably sometimes. You say, well, yes, for example, just give an example. If you have argument with some brother, right, your Muslim brothers, or your real brothers, or Muslim brother, anyone, and you keep on going on, and you keep on insulting. Your wisdom says, no, this brother has insulted me. It's my utmost responsibility to respond in the same tone. But your heart tells you something different. It says, well, yeah, but no, not really. Not really. Because if you have to see the people or their akhlaq when they are really, really angry. When some injustice happened to them, then check the akhlaq for those people, how they react. It's very hard, by the way. It's saying it's different than doing it, but it's very hard. But that's where you need to show the best of the akhlaq. That's the teaching of Rasulullah. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. And yes, people may have difference of opinion, may have argument, but when it all happens, always see in the light, in the context of the ta'lim of Rasulullah. Always see in the perspective of Islam. What would Rasulullah will do? If you don't understand that concept even, let's see what your heart tells you to do. Should I go and insult and do this and that? Or there's a greater thing. Be merciful to each other. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I am rahmatan lil alameen. So His rahmah prevails over everything. So we at least At least something do. If we have an argument, let's say, okay, let's settle down. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Rasulullah has taught us, and Rasulullah taught us what to do in those things, how to do in the best possible way. Do in the light of Islam. Do all those arguments in the light of Deen. Our Deen, mashallah, is a complete Deen. It's a complete Deen. It covers all our boundaries. If we don't understand this, our shortcoming. It says when you have an argument, what to do. If you have different opinion, what to do. If you don't come to the agreement, what to do. Do the mushawara. So always seek those things. And the best of person is the one who in time of trials and tribulations still stay firm and says, Alhamdulillah. And the greatest of the enemy of us is the shaitan. Whenever you have a fear of anything, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us one very beautiful tool. He says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Say in your heart, and all of those, whatever shaitan is trying to aggravate you and just to whispering, no, go, punch him. Do whatever. And when we do all this, he says, well, alhamdulillah. It settles down. And you will feel your own change in your attitude. So one of the great incidents, we will see this in the light of how Rasulullah ﷺ has done, how Sahaba Karam has done, or how we need to respond to those. So during the time of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, some of you may know this story, but it's a greater lesson. When we repeat these stories again and again, there's a greater lesson, it's a refresher for us. Alhamdulillah. So during the time of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, he was a Khalifa, and two young gentlemen, they brought one of the, another young boy, and they're dragging him into his courthouse. So Umar radiallahu anhu said, what's going on? Why are you doing this? He said, well, we are dragging him to this court because this boy killed our father. So Umar radiallahu anhu turned towards him and he says, did you really kill their father? He said, yeah, I did. I killed their father, but it was an accident. It was an accident. My camel used to tread on their property. His lesson as well, right? If it's not his property, my property is camel. So I need to guard my property over others' property. There's a lesson as well here. But anyway, goes back. So he said, yeah, my camel used to tread on their property. And one day their father took a rock and just hit my camel. And it hit the eye of camel, and camel was in pain, aggravation. I could not tolerate that. So I was even more furious. And I picked up the rock and threw it towards him. And that hit him, and it hit him so bad that he died. But it was just accidental. I don't mean to. When it happens all that, after that you realize sometime, after that we realize, oh, I don't mean to do that, but it happens, right? So anyway, so Umar radiallahu anhu turned towards those people and they says, can you forgive him? Because forgiveness is a lot better than taking the revenge. And it's not easy. In those circumstances, it's not easy. It's easy to say, but to look into those, put yourself in those boots, and you will figure it out, it's very tough. So anyway, he says, can you forgive him? He said, no, we cannot forgive him. They were furious. They were obviously natural, mahabba and all those. They said, no, we cannot forgive him because he has done something grievous. We want him to get punishment for that. He said, well, if they're not forgiving you, do you have any last wish? Because, you have to... they said, we want qasas. And Umar looked up to this young boy. He says, well, they want qasas. And in Islam, teaching is whatever the teaching is. So we have to follow the teaching. So do you have any last will, any wish before we carry on with this? He said, well, my father passed away. Yes, Umar Mu'mineen, my father passed away. And I have younger brothers. And my father left some money, some asset. And I want to borrow 3 days from you. So I want to go get those assets wherever it is hidden, so I can take it out when I'm gone. So I'm going to give it to my brothers, so they can take care of that, or at least there's amana for them. So Hazrat Umar even doubted for a few seconds. He says, "What money? What are you talking about? What money? What wealth? What father?" So he doubted for a second, but he said, Khair, inshallah. Then the young fellow, he looked at Hazrat Umar that he's doubting his statement. This is obvious natural. He said, no, trust me, Amir al-Mu'mineen, I'm not lying. He said, I trust you. Amir al-Mu'mineen, but faithfully said, I trust you, but you need to find a guarantor who can guarantee that you are going to go away and for sure you will come back. This is the insaf. This is the way you need to do it. So, and you need to find a guarantee. And it was like a whole, consider this hall is full of people, full of Ashab Karam, Tabi, all the Ashab Karam over there. He says, find a guarantor, anyone is ready to give the guarantee. So this young fellow, he turned back and he started looking on people, can anyone give my guarantee? And obviously you don't know anyone, it's hard, it's not easy, sometimes easy to say, but it's not hard. So people start shying away, looking right and left and up and down, whatever, don't want to face this, because they don't want to face this gentleman and say, we'll guarantee. So now he was very disappointed, he says, he has no help here today. And as goes on, it continues on, and all of a sudden, someone in the back, very far back, raises his hand, I'm going to give guarantee. People look at it, who is this guy giving guarantee? Subhanallah. This is Abu Dhar al-Ghifari, one of the beloved Ashab Karam, one of the beloved Ashabi of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's raising his hand, he says, I'm going to give the guarantee. And he's mashallah, he was very known for his dawah work. He has done very good dawah work, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given good business. He says, and people looked at him and said, Abu Dhar al-Ghifari, do you know him? He said, no, I'm guaranteed. I'm going to give guarantee, and that's fine. So people said, okay, maybe, that's fine. So he got the guarantee and he went away. So first day goes by, second day goes by, here comes the third day. Now people were curious to see that this fellow went away and what will be the next step. And as it comes to the time of Asr, both of brothers went Amir al-Mu'mineen and says, let's go, and this is the time of the Fasla, this is the time of the justice, so justice prevails. He said, okay. As he walked down there, and he inquired about if the young fellow is there or not. He said, no, we didn't see him yet. So okay. Time goes by. No, tension starts building up. Whole Medina, everyone was behind them and went there, and they says, okay, let's see what's going on. Because this is the greatest of the event. What happened? Now people start talking, what happened is now, if, mistake of someone, and maybe someone else will be sacrificed for no apparent reason, like Abu Dhar al-Ghifari has to pay the qasas for that. Because that's the ruling. If you are the guarantor, you'll be penalized for that. And Hazrat Umar, mashallah, we know, he was very strict, very forward, and what he says, he says. What he does, he does. He has no compromise, even his own loved one, his own family, himself even. He's up to that far, straightforward. And tension built up. Very close to the time of Salat al-Maghrib, all of a sudden they see this young gentleman rushing over there. He rushed over there. Now people, they have the sign of relief. Oh, alhamdulillah, at least he's back. So he's back, and then he looks at him and says, Umar looked at him and says, young fellow, and says, what brought you back? No, he was curious. I have not sent a spy on you. We don't know you. We never sent a spy on you. I never sent a spy on you. So what brought you back? You could have run away, right? So, and he said, no. He said, I don't want to annoy. He said, I don't want anyone to say that a Muslim gave his words and did not fulfill it. Because of that reason, I'm back to take my consequences. I don't want anyone to feel like a Muslim has taken an oath or promise, I'm going to go and come back and did not fulfill my promise. That's why I'm back. And I'm ready for all the consequences, whatever you need to. Then Hazrat Umar was curious as well. He looked at Abu Dhar al-Ghifari, he says, Abu Dhar al-Ghifari, do you know him? He said, no, I don't know. He said, how did you become the guarantor of someone you don't know? He said, all I see is a Muslim in need. A Muslim in need, and I thought if I don't help the Muslim, the brother or anyone in need, no one will be there to help him. So I raised my hand as a guarantor. The two brothers are now listening, and they say, Subhanallah. They said, when we have people like this, how can a Muslim ask for forgiveness and no one will be there to forgive him? To forgive this young fellow. So this is a beautiful story. And this is not a make-up story, by the way. This is not a make-up story. You know, some of you may have heard this story. This is the legacy of Islam. When a Muslim is in need, other brothers stand up and says, I'm ready to help. And it goes further along, even if anyone is in need as a human, because we all are brother and sisters, right? If any human is in need, any creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in need, further goes along. We need to stand up and say, we are ready to help someone out. We don't need to be selfish. We don't need to confine ourselves, limit ourselves in our thoughts, in our process, and says, if it's my beloved one, it's my immediate family, only then I'm going to help. This is what the problem going on in the world right now. People are in need. People are suffering. So there are so many ways to help them out. We need to stand up. We need to support them. We need to say, yes, whoever is doing the right, we need to help them out. There's poverty going on in the world. Famine going on in a lot of places. We need to support. At least if we cannot go help them out physically, there are so many other ways, charity and do all those things. So we need to take care of our share. There are some parts of the world, it's so tough for them to have even meal on the table. Sometimes we think, so, $1, what's going to make difference, I mean, it's not going to make difference. It's going to make, brothers, sisters, it's going to make huge, huge, huge difference on those parts of the world. If one loaf of bread they can get and they can eat, they'll be very thankful. And this is what thing, as a Muslim, we fail sometimes. This is what the other organizations, non-Muslim organizations, they step forward. They're preaching their religion, no doubt about it. But this is one thing they're doing, they're trying to give the food to the hungry people, fill up their stomach and then talk. If I'm hungry from last 10 days, you come and you say, let's do brother, let's start. Let me teach you what Deen is, what Islam is, and all the, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put any one of those first of all. But if someone is like that, in that condition, and you say, let me teach you how to do the salah. Did you do salah? Oh, I didn't do salah from last 10 days, he's hungry. You're talking about that. Give him something to at least drink, sip of water. Give him something to eat. Then talk about what you want to talk about. So they are doing a lot better than that. However, the consequence of that is, when they do this all, people become so thankful and they look up to their own brothers and sisters like us, and they say, well, no one is there to help us. No one is there. No one is covering my back when I am in need of help. So these people are much more better. At least they know the humanity. So humanity comes first, then this whole deen and everything. Because what is Islam? Submission to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Be merciful to each other. Be merciful to each other. He says, I'm rahmatul lil alameen, for whole world. Can we not be a little bit merciful at least to each other in gesture and relations and all those things? Can we not take care of others? We need to be justified. Sometimes this looks a little harsh sometimes, but again, I have to say, because when you are on this one, this is my responsibility to say what is truth. And truth comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever, anything else sure comes, that is maybe my own. Shaitan has give the waswas and I may have said something wrong. But the good comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We build masajid, we build madrasas, billions and billions, millions and millions, hundreds of thousands of that one. We need to, brothers, sisters, we need to carve out some piece of that. If we can fulfill the stomach of 100 people, that is way, way, way long, in the long run, that's way better than those all masajid and all madrasas. We need to do, but that doesn't mean we need to do one and neglect the others. We need to take care of both. But do your share. We need to do, all of us need to do our share. What we think is, even sometimes, when you give the tip, this is the same example. When you go eat or do whatever, or you get pleased. If you don't have $1, at least you have some change. You drop the change in there and just at least get some tips. And if you're generous enough, some people give tips more than what they eat. So if we can do tips here, those are our tips, and those are our obligation more than actually tips. We need to take care of our. So at least do it. But again, When you give the charity, so make sure you give to the people, not to the charity, the one who has a lot of overheads, and those overheads takes more than what it reaches to the end people. So that is very critical. Always ask the right people, what is the right charity? We don't need to settle right here and figure out what the charity is, right? So we need to talk later on. So this is the legacy of Islam. Take care of each other. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Ashab Karam came to Rasulullah, he said, we are hungry. They want to show they're hungry, that we have so much hunger. Rasulullah showed them what? He lifted up and said, I have brought right to my belly as well. So they thought maybe he is fed more, but we are among us more hungry. And he says, I'm also hungry. That doesn't mean he wants to show different, but he wants to show that I'm in same state like you. I'm no different than you. Probably worse than you. But alhamdulillah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him miracles as well. He has shown for the miracles, and we know several miracles. When people are thirsty, he is by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah has given him mu'azzah that he, open up his arm and then water starts flowing. But again, sometimes as a human, we are argumentative. We say, okay, if that was the case, why not Rasulullah always time ask for the manasala? Why do we keep feeding these people? That's not the tartib of it. That's not the tartib. The tartib is you need to go through all these things to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and when the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, inshallah Allah will send. And this is one of the critical things. I know one of the sheikhs here in America, he went for tabligh in some house. He knocked the house. He heard like these people, brother and sister there, came from immigrants from some Christian charity people, charities they brought them to as an immigration people in this country, right? He knocked the door, he says, yeah, Muslims, alhamdulillah, it's our job to go and invite them. Yes, that's fine, they did, but let's stay on the path of Islam. The lady came, so the brother who was there, he was listening to those brothers, right? Sheikh and other brother. A lady came in, house of, from the house, and she said, listen, Sheikh and brothers, where were you when we were hungry, you have nothing to eat and nothing? These charities stepped in, they help us out. No, they brought us here. Can you help us? You cannot help us. You mean overall, she was generalizing the Muslims. You never help us during then. You will never help us now. So please go away. At least they're better. They're better. They're feeding us. There's a lesson for us. I'm not saying the response was good or bad, but there's a lesson for us. When someone was in need, no one was there to help them out. This is another thing. Do they have tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Yes, tawakkul plus you need to strive for that good as well. But this was the tartib of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever means they had someone send it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the risk in a certain way. They got it. They need to be firm on this deen as well. This was the mean of coming, whatever. But don't let go this up. And this is going on across all communities in America. These charities on the other side of Islam, they're bringing these people in. Alhamdulillah. But after that, we don't take our responsibility from there to onward as well. And they go away. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us understand that and help us, those people not only in this country but anywhere in the world suffering going on, keep doing your charities. So one of the, I'm going to relate one more example, inshallah. After that I'm going to conclude on this. So there was a time, about 50 people or so, they were sitting in a room. So one of the person who was leading this whole conversation or presenting, he thought of an idea. He said, okay, I want all of you to stand up. They all stood up. They said, okay, I'm going to give all of you one balloon. So write down your name on it and fill up the air and throw in this one room. Right? So everyone did, 50 or 50 plus. So they all threw their balloon in that room. Now he said, okay. So he went and just mixed them all together. He said, after a while, he says, now I want to give you few seconds or few minutes. Everyone go in that room and take the balloon which has your name on it. So they all rushed. This was exercise. They all rushed And while rushing, because obviously it's all mixed up now, you don't know 50 balloon, think about a small room and all. Now 50 people trying to rush and they're like hitting each other, treading over each other, they burst the balloon, some and also. So at the end of it, very few got it, but rest everyone probably they got injured or they hit each other or tried to get the balloon and they blasted all. Then he said, okay, come on now. He said, no, I'm going to give you again balloon. Put the name on it, blow the air, and do the same thing. Put it in there. So this time I'm going to give you the same time, but this time let's do it differently. What I want you to do is, whoever gets there, pick up the balloon, whatever name you see, turn back and says, who's Abdullah here? Who's Muhammad here? So keep doing the name like this, right? So, and he started. Within few minutes, before even they finished, everyone has their balloon in their hand and no one tried over, no one hit anyone. So now he said, come back here. He said, the parable for this is, in pursuit of happiness or getting something, when we are rushing towards to get something, we don't look after others in our surrounding. We tread over each other to try to get our name or our happiness out of it. And what we get, we neither get ours, nor we allow anyone else to get the happiness. The second part of it is, when I said, go and keep distributing this happiness to each other. So which means, you go, you say, hey, who is this John, who's Peter, who's Abdullah, who's Muhammad? Everyone gets their happiness. And you are happy at the end as well. And we reach faster to the goal what we were trying to achieve. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that understanding that we not only look after our happiness, but look for the other's happiness. If we look for the other's happiness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring our happiness, whatever is this time for us.